Hey guys, how you doing? 3 minutes early today. Yeah. So I'm a little early. How you guys doing? YouTube, good afternoon, good night, wherever you guys are. I just want to say um, thank you guys for always watching my video, share my video, Facebook. Thank you guys. Yeah, today I'm going to be going over a few things. First and foremost, there's one very important that I go over this with you guys. The seven plagues pinpoint that's actually now affecting our planet. Now, if you guys are familiar with the book Revelation, it is in the Bible, in the book of Revelation. Prophecy actually was written by John, one of the prophet. John did state there will be seven plagues on this planet. Now, today I had some time on my hand. I did some research and I kind of narrowed down seven plagues that's actually right now on our planet. I mean, if you guys disagree with what I'm saying, that's fine. It's just I'm just sharing a few things that I've observed and a couple of the stuff that I found in my couple of the research that I've been doing. Now, bear with me here. I just have to. Yeah, I'm still on YouTube, so I didn't lose you, YouTube. Don't worry about it. I'm just clicking some screen here. Yep, I'm still on there. Great. Now, seven plagues, guys. First and foremost, I just want to let you guys know that these global events, earthquakes, and so forth, it's going to get worse. This is just a start of what's coming, and there is more coming on the horizon. As I said, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. Sorry. I'm just a pragmatic realist. I get the information, see for what it is, I take it, process it, and as I get it, I give it. As I said, first and foremost, I'm not a professional. I'm just a guy who loves to read. Now, I will list it. The seven plagues that I've actually see right now on Earth, and it's very serious. First, there's rats. First plague that I see going on right now. Rats are actually now in Australia, guys. If you guys are not familiar with this, there is millions of rats running all over Australia right now. The average household in Australia, in like South Wales, Australia, and Queensland, the average household they're catching 600 rats a night. They're in the cupboards, they're in the bed, they're everywhere. Now, if you really do think about it, Australia's getting a lot of tremors, a lot of earthquakes are surrounding Australia. There's nothing more sensitive to quakes than animals. They're more sensitive to these things, even know that they're going to happen before they happen. See, a lot of humans are not familiar with that. No, all of a sudden, if the ground is moving, what do you think going to happen, guys? So these plagues that I'm actually seeing in the book of Revelation, they're actually happening. They actually relate with earthquakes. Literally, it's all tied in. Now, it was an epiphany when I got hit with that today. I was like, once I get all of that information processed in my head, I was like, whoa, everything has to do with earthquakes. These rats are coming out in Australia in the millions because of earthquakes. And because they're going to be more earthquakes. And because they know there's a big one coming. These animals know. Look it up. Australia is stormed with rats, millions in Queensland and also in South Wales. There's millions of rats. All they got to close the hotels, and this is also what's happening. These rats are eating their field, the farmers' field. All their grains are gone. These farmers that feed the people, they don't have nothing to feed these people. So what are these people going to eat? What are these people going to eat? They don't have nothing to eat. They're dependent on the farmers' supply for them to put food on the table. Now that supply is cut because of rats. You see what I'm getting at right now, folks? You see, being self-sufficient is extremely important. And every time I look at any of these plagues, they always affect food supply. That's crazy. Anyway, number two, um, earthquakes. Yes, earthquake is a plague. Let's go back there again. It's a lot of earthquakes going on today. Let me run down earthquakes for you guys today. That's number two plague on my list. So since I'm on earthquakes, I'm going to run it down for you guys. Peru is getting hammered today. Let me start with South America. South America is getting killed. If you're on the west part of South America, on the continent, South American continent, you guys are going to get a lot of earthquakes. It's hard to get away from it because the fault line actually run alongside the line right there on the shorelines. So it will get busy right there. Venezuela, north. Let me go down to Venezuela and see where in Venezuela we're getting a lot of quakes here, folks. Let me Cubara, Venezuela. Sorry, Cubara, Colombia. I'm so sorry. It's Colombia. Cubara, Colombia. Now let me zoom in a little bit more. Let me get in on the line here, the space. All right, Cubara, Colombia. Actually, is Venezuela and Colombia at the same time, right there where Venezuela meet Colombia. In Cubara, Colombia, where Cubara go over into Venezuela, that space of land right there, it's moving, guys. So basically, it's like north of Colombia and west of Venezuela, where they meet. It's extremely active there, and I noticed the quakes are huge. You guys are getting 5.0 and up. See, this is what I'm pointing out, the huge quakes. Now, the quakes have slowed down. They're not, there is earthquake happening on a very, very large scale. But a week ago, it was like insane. I couldn't, my friend is calling me. He's watching me right now. He's, what are you calling me for, man? Watch me on YouTube. I'll talk to you in a bit. I'm sorry, guys. He called me in a minute. Yeah, he's told me what's going to do that. So Colombia and Venezuela, there, you guys, if you're there, if you know anyone there, family member there in Cubara, Colombia, and also west of Venezuela, please let them be aware of the activity and the tremors that they're feeling. I know they're feeling it. I'm just letting them know that it's going to be there for a little bit because there's a trend to these earthquakes. It will lighten up a little bit, but folks, it's not going to get better. This is just the beginning of what's about to happen. Now, as I said, that's plague number 2. We're in Venezuela, not Puerto Rico. Let me go down to Puerto Rico. I have a lot of questions today from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico got hit hard out in the ocean. There were 2 quakes in the south part of the island. And let me see. Let me go get a little closer here on Puerto Rico, so give you guys a better idea on where the quakes are happening. All right, there were 2 quakes. Now, one was north of Puerto Rico, extreme north in the water, and one was actually south of Puerto Rico. So one at the bottom of the island and one is at the top of the island. Now, the one at the top of the island over there in Puerto Rico was actually it was far out in the water. It was over 100 kilometers away from shorelines. Yes. So it was really far in the water, but there was a quake here that was highly felt at, let me pronounce the city, guys. If I pronounce it let me spell it. If I pronounce it, I do apologize. I'm trying my best. I really want to learn Spanish, but I'm not there yet. Is Fuig, Fuig. They had a 3.1 magnitude of quake on that south. So when I told you, I said to you before, my friends were in Puerto Rico. If you're south of the island, places like Fuig, I pronounce it correct. Fuig, on the shorelines over there, it's very active. So I want you to be aware that you're going to be getting more quakes in the future, very frequent. Chances are they're going to get a lot bigger. So if you're in Puerto Rico and you're on the shorelines, I've noticed the quakes are at south and north of your island. So you want to get away from the shorelines and try to get inland if you're on the shorelines. But if nothing serious is going on, I mean, you're always you need a plan B, because I'm looking at the chart. It doesn't lie. You know, I know where the quakes are in Puerto Rico. There's one, I mean, the one up north, you wouldn't feel it as much, but I know for a fact the one south, a lot of people in that city felt it. Fuig. They felt the quake there. So you guys can write whatever on the video from Puerto Rico, just to prove my point that you felt the quake today. It was a 3.1 magnitude. Now it was off in the there's another quake off in the water south, out in the water, but I'm sure you probably didn't feel it as much. But anyway, that's really it for Puerto Rico. You guys had 2 today, and they were pretty big size quake. One actually hit the land, which was 3.1. That place got hit. The quake happened right there on the shorelines, and it wasn't even in the water. It was actually on the land. So be very aware there. Any city close to there too. I will spell the city one more time because if I try to pronounce it, I will mispronounce it, and I apologize. I don't want to go there. Fuig. That city, the south of that city. If you're on the shoreline, guys, take my dumb advice and start getting a plan B and get more inland, get more away from the shorelines. So that's pretty much where the quakes are at in Puerto Rico. Only 2 today. That's really it for Puerto Rico. I will go over a few more places here. Remember, that's plague number 2. I'm still on number 2. It's just earthquake. It's just so big right now. Let's go to the middle of the United States. As I said to you before, it's extremely active. New Mexico. It's not going to stop there, guys. You guys are getting hit, and New Mexico is getting hit hard. The party in New Mexico is huge right now with quakes. Now, another place that I told you guys will always get hit is Oklahoma. They also get a 3.0 magnitude today. So if you're in Oklahoma, be extremely aware. I'm telling you, Oklahoma will always get hit because I've already pinpointed the piece of land in the middle of the United States. I found it. It will always have quake. Oklahoma happened to be in that radius. All right. New Mexico always have quake. I get that. Now another place will always have quake. There's another quake in Oklahoma. Another place that will always have quake is Kansas. And the reason why, right there, that piece of land there in the middle, above New Mexico, north of Texas, south of Oklahoma, and Kansas, is active. Now, Mexico, if you're in the south, you guys got a quake again. Guatemala, if you're north of Guatemala, south of Mexico, it's always going to be active. There's a fault line there, guys, and it's moving hard. You guys got hit with a 5.0 today. That was a big quake. And there's more coming, and I'm sure there's a smaller tremors that's going on right there in New Mexico. Not New Mexico, south of Mexico and north of Guatemala. So I just want you guys to know it's basically the fault line made a T like this. There's one coming through the Gulf, and there's one going all the way up to California. And the one coming through the Gulf is actually hitting the one that meet California. Like there's a T there, and right there where the T, the fault line, this fault line meet this fault line is where Mexico and Guatemala, where the border of Mexico and Guatemala is. You see what I'm trying to say to you? So as long as you're north of Guatemala and south of Mexico, right there in that little T of fault line, it's not gonna stop. All right, you guys will always get hit. So get that through your head. And I'm not telling people to move. I'm just informing people. All right, California. Let's go to California. Now, California, you guys got some serious quakes today and a lot of big ones. No, let me pull it up. Tell exactly where these big quakes were. California, there was a big one. Let me see. Okay, California. All right, okay. California, there was one south. There was actually 2 south. And there were actually 2, one in the middle and one there was like 2 in the middle and 2 south. So what I've noticed in the middle of California and the south of California is where a lot of the activity right now is happening. Alaska, always getting hit. Russia, there's big quakes right now in Russia. Guys, be careful over there in Russia. Where else got Iran? There was a huge quake in Iran. Huge. China's getting smacked around like a rag doll today, man. China got at least 12. China is getting whooped, and China's getting whooped hard. There's earthquake in Mongolia. If you guys know about this article, I did share it. Now, when Mongolia get earthquakes, there's a sandstorm. There's sand in Mongolia. It's like a big, I guess it's a desert of sand or something. When they're getting quakes, what that does to China, the sand from Mongolia actually get pushed over to China and create what is called a sandstorm. It affected China before, and I'm guessing because of the activity that's going on right now in Mongolia, because earthquakes, I do believe China will be experiencing that one more time. It's going to be a frequent thing for them. Now, what that will do, it will slow down their production on goods. And if you guys know anything about the food that you eat on the shelf, if you start reading the label, you're starting to see that 80 to 90% of the food you're putting in your stomach is actually coming from China. hope you're aware of that. See the reason why you need to be self-sufficient? Because in case something happened to China and they can't produce enough food for you to eat, you actually have the skill set to actually do that for yourself. And that, my friends, will be highly important in the future. Now, Indonesia. Indonesia, man, I've been getting a lot of message from Indonesia. If you're on the shorelines, I'm going to keep it real with Indonesia. If you're on the shoreline, move inland because there's so many islands. It's broken up in multiple segment of islands, so it's kind of hard to tell people where to go because you move from one island to the next, to the next, to the next. And islands, they're not big over there in Indonesia, So the best bet I can tell for people over there, the safest thing I can tell people is that if you're on the shoreline and you want to move in more inland, please do so because the quakes literally surround Indonesia. I will try to pinpoint it a little bit better. I'm having a little problem there because they're literally sitting on the ring of fire, and the quakes there you just never know when it's going to pop off or where it's going to pop off. Fiji right now is on fire. Australia out in the ocean. You guys look out. Huge quakes over there in Australia. All right. In the north of Australia, over there's a fault line. Now you guys are getting some big quakes. Fiji, Solomon Island, you guys are getting some big quakes. Japan getting big quakes. All right. Places like India just got hit with a quake. So you guys be aware. As I said, no, that was quake. For plague number 2. Now my plague number 3, which is volcano erupting all over the world. Now the one in Iceland, if you guys know anything about it, they said it hadn't erupted in 6,000 years. Me personally, I don't think that information is accurate. But anyway, that's just me. I do believe this cycle that we're going through happened every 3,600 years. And I do believe every 3,600 years, this is what happened. Volcano eruption, things get crazy. Because our solar system is on a cyclical cycle with a binary star. And the course for the completion with that binary star is 3,600 years. And that's why we're going through all of this craziness. That's why it's just going to accelerate because the planet is now in our solar system. 29 volcanoes right now is popping off like crazy. There's like up to 45 that's active, but that's popping off lava all over the place. It's 29. The latest one, Iceland. According to the report, they said, "Oh, it hasn't erupted for 6,000 years." I don't believe that. I really don't. I think the last time this happened was 3,600 years ago. I really do, because we're going through that cycle again. So obviously the same thing is going to happen. But anyway, that's just me. Okay, don't forget that. This is just theoretical thinking because of the data that I'm gathering. All right. Yeah, so keep that in mind. I see that as plague number 3, volcano. And plague number 4, which you guys didn't know about, is the drought that's in the middle of the United States. There's a serious drought, a mega drought going on. And a lot of you guys don't know, a lot of the corn that we use in our goods, in our food, which is one of the main commodity here, corn and wheat, are actually farmed in the middle of the United States. And due to this drought, crops has been damaged, guys. And I'm going back there again, lack of food. So there is a crisis coming. The banks are even talking about. The banks are not talking about the food crisis on the verge because they know for a fact they didn't get enough commodities. You're not going to see now. Because what we're eating now on the shelf is from last year's stock. It's going to start right after summer, going into the winter. That's when the shortage of food will kick in. That's why I keep begging you guys. You have a few more months. Get as much canned food as possible. You don't need to stack up on meat. Canned food, rice, and stuff like that. Stuff that will last you for like a couple of years, man. You need a lot of that. Bottled water if you want, that's fine. You don't really have to. But food, these things are essential. They're more important. Food is going to be the most important thing in the future because we will have famine. I don't care who want to hear this or not. I'm telling you the truth. I'm looking at the numbers. All right. And the numbers don't lie. Since I've been using the number system, it never lies to me. And some of the time, I really don't like the answer. But if I follow the number and how what the direction the number is taking me, I never go wrong. It's the secret to the universe. It's math. Didn't Tesla tell you guys? Didn't you guys know that Tesla said it to you guys? You want to know the secret to the universe? Think of it in frequency, energy, and vibration. That's how you define the secret of the universe. Our planet is vibrating at a rate we have never seen it before. The frequency level of people is off the chain. Don't you guys see how stupid people are? You guys not aware of that? YouTube, you guys know how stupid people are right now, right? It's all of everything that's happening to our solar system is affecting people. People are being affected by this. All right. Now, I don't know blabber too much on that. Number 4 is that drought that we have now in the middle of the United States. It's for real. Crops are being destroyed. Number 5, no, there's armies of locusts that just happened in Africa and the Middle East. Normally, they said this happened every 30 or 40 or 50 years. It happened before, but not on a frequent scale. But now it's frequent. The locusts are coming out, and it's one batch of locusts can have up to 80 million of them. They can eat in 1 hour. Locusts can eat what 35,000 people would consume. 1 hour. One group of locusts. Whatever 35,000 people, the amount that 35,000 people would eat in an hour, in a day, a locust devour that in an hour. And that's happening right now in Africa and Asia. So all the crops over there, people are going to be hungry. People are going to be starving because the locusts are not eating their food. The farmers can't keep their crops. I was like, whoa, everything I've read, everything. I mean, I'm not being spiritual or anything like that. I'm not trying to push anything on people, but I'm taking the reference from the book of Revelation because that's where I got this idea from. I was reading the book of Revelation. I was like, wow, there is going to be 7 signs in the crazy times. You will have 7 signs. So I'm reading. Okay, I was like, okay, great. There's going to be, so I'm thinking to myself, I need to look for 7 signs. I need to figure out what are the 7 things that's happening right now. And this is what I'm pinpointing. So by me digging, I'm seeing that, wow, there is a food crisis coming everywhere I look. It doesn't matter what country I look in, they're going to have a problem with food. Because if the weather don't damage it, the insects and the rats and the locusts, they're all eating that stuff. In the middle of the United States, there's a drought, a mega drought going on. You don't believe me? Go Google it. They should be starting farming already. Farmers should be getting active right now. They can't. Just so we can get the commodity, so people can have food. There's going to be a shortage for that. All right. Now, bird flu is on the rise in Russia. Again, another pandemic is on the rise in Russia. A new strand of bird flu. And they said it's just as contagious as COVID-19. You guys didn't know this. It just started a few days ago. It's a new strand of bird flu. I'm thinking to myself, holy crap, man. The first COVID didn't work. So all of a sudden, I heard about bird flu before, but all of a sudden we have a super bird flu. What is next? What's next for human being? I mean, we can't catch a break. Humans, we can't. So there is a bird flu, and I promise you one thing. Bird flu now, the new strand of bird flu is now in Russia. You're going to start hearing in the media that the bird flu bought a ticket, took a plane, and went to China. Next thing you know, they took a plane and went to Japan and Canada and the US and Mexico because it traveled. The disease traveled. Whatever they want to tell people. I personally think it's crap. All right. But there's a new strand of bird flu. I think it's just another strand of the COVID. Another newer strand of the COVID. And they just want to give it a little twist. Oh no, it's bird flu. It's a mega bird flu. Bird flu is the same symptom. It's a cold, just like COVID. It really is. But they don't want to say new strand of COVID because they already said new strand of COVID a month and a half ago coming out of England. Now there's a new strand of bird flu coming out of Russia. Then next thing you know, there's a new strand coming out of here. Come on, guys. And they said the vaccine that people are taking cannot stop it. It's spreading like wildfire right now in Russia. The vaccine that people are jamming in their arm cannot stop this. It's basically just like COVID, but they call it a new strain of bird flu. Come on. Anyway, so that is number 6 of the plague that's roaming Earth. And the last one is the COVID pandemic. And as yeah, you heard me correctly. Not pandemic. I said the pandemic. Yep. So you've seen what happened basically on a global scale. It destroyed basically destroyed the world economy. It have changed life as we know it, and there's basically it's still spreading. It's not over. The new strand. This is what's going on. They said the old strand is declining, but the new strand is rising. The new strand is a new cases of new strand. I'm not 100% sure, but it's spreading really, really fast right now. And the vaccine, as I said, it's not really stopping it. Just because you're vaccinated, don't ever think that you can't catch it again, because I do believe this thing is morphing. All right, there's always new strand coming out. Now, as I will go over these plagues one more time with you. There's 7 of them that I found that I think is quite interesting. Number 1, rats in Australia. They're taking over Australia, eating up all the food. Earthquakes that's going on. If you guys follow my posts, follow my videos, you guys will know that there's earthquakes popping off every day, everywhere. Eruption of volcanoes, number 3. The volcanoes are extremely active right now. I think it will be and also the one that happened in Iceland. It's going to get worse. This is just a precursor of what we're going to see coming in the future. Number 4, sorry, drought in the middle of the United States. If you guys are aware of it, do some research on that. And the drought will just get worse there until they have the right temperature, the right climate to start planting their crops. Chances are, when they do start planting their crops, they're in the middle. What's going to come next behind it is a hurricane. I promise you. And it's going to come in and wipe everything out. There's going to be a problem with food, man. I've been seeing that writing on the wall for years, and everything I'm seeing right now, just literally, I'm just piecing the puzzle together. Now, locusts is number 5 in Africa and the Middle East. That's eating up all the people's food over there. All right, they're having millions and millions. They said each batch of locusts can hold. It's like 80 million of locusts are swarming the villages over there, and it's happening right now, very frequently. No, the number 6, bird flu in Russia. Well, according to what they're saying, it's bird flu. But as I said before, it might be a new strain of COVID again. But there's another pandemic on the horizon. They call it bird flu, new bird flu strand that's taking over Russia there. So basically, the last one is the COVID situation. So those are the things that I see that I think is really having a very stressful toll on Earth as I see it. And basically, I see these things just accelerating and getting even worse than what it is now. It's going COVID situation is going to get worse. If this bird flu situation is correct in Russia, it's going to get worse. The locust is going to get worse. The drought is going to get worse. We know that volcano is going to get worse. Earthquake is going to get worse. And these rats in Australia, according to these residents, they said these rats are not backing down. They're just coming up by the millions right now. So this is what's going on, guys. This is the truth. This is the reality of Earth. Take it or leave it. It's not what you see on YouTube. It's not perfect. The truth is not nice anymore. It is what it is. So we just have to learn to adjust. And so I want to thank you guys for always watching my video. I got a lot of messages today from Netherlands. Netherlands, you guys are good. There's barely any quakes there. Every now and then you get a slight tremor, but the tremor that you get is actually coming from Greece. So anywhere you're at in Netherlands, man, you guys are in good place. So don't worry about that. God bless you guys, and I have to get off now because I got to go read a book. Have a wonderful night, guys. Ciao.